Ngayong Biyernes sa DOST Report, kumustahin natin ang ilan sa mga dating scholars ng DOST Philippine Science High School na ngayon ay matagumpay na at kinikilala sa kanilang larangan. Ma-inspire sa success stories ni Dr. Reynaldo B. Vea, President and CEO, Mapua University; Honorable Carlo Alexi B. Nograles, Cabinet Secretary, Office of the Cabinet Secretariat; Dr. Rowena Cristina L. Guevara, Undersecretary for Research and Development, Department of Science and Technology; Engineer Ramon I. Castillo, President and CEO, Innovatronics Incorporated. Lahat ng yan at iba pang balita tungkol sa agam at teknolohiya sa bansa ngayong nagdaang linggo mula mismo kay DOST Secretary Fortunato Boy de la Peña. Pakarutukan lahat ng yan sa DOST Report tuwing Biyernes alas 4 ng hapon sa DOST TV Facebook page at YouTube channel. Magandang araw Pilipinas, oras na para sa mga napapanong balita tungkol sa agam at teknolohiya. Ito ang DOST Report. Ako po si Oling Miranda, ang inyong kapatid sa Imbang Hawid, at kasama po natin ang kalihim ng kagawaan ng agam at teknolohiya, ang nag-iisang DOST Secretary Fortunato Boy de la Peña. Magandang araw po Sir Boy.
Magandang araw, Onin, at sa ating mga taga-subaybay.
Para po sa buwan ng Hulyo, kikilalanin at kukumustahin natin ang ilan sa mga dating scholar ng Department of Science and Technology na ngayon ay matagumpay na sa larangang kanilang tinaha. Pero bago yan, makibalita muna tayo sa mga updates sa Science and Technology program sa bansa. Narito Secretary Boy.
Oo, Onin, at katulad ng dati, uunahin natin ang reports under kalusugan. The first one is an update from the DOST Philippine Council for Health Research and Development on a project that they are supporting, an ongoing project at the University of Santo Tomas. This is a project to analyze gene expression and potential genes associated with gestational diabetes mellitus. The DOST PCHRD is supporting this project with the aim of analyzing gene expression and potential genes that are associated with what we call GDM, a condition wherein pregnant women suffer from diabetes during pregnancy. The ongoing research study is headed by Dr. Maria Ruth Pineda Portel of the Department of Medical Technology, Faculty of Pharmacy, University of Santo Tomas. It is actually screening the presence of and analyzing the GDM-related short nucleotide polymorphisms to determine their viability for early diagnosis compared with that of standard diagnostic tools such as the oral glucose tolerance test. And the results of this study will fill significant gaps in our understanding of gestational diabetes mellitus, and provide also baseline prevalence of GDM among pregnant Filipino women. The team has already enrolled a total of 627 pregnant women, out of which 196 have been found to have gestational diabetes mellitus, or an estimated 31% prevalence based on the data collected between February 2018 to March 2020. The remaining samples are currently being subjected to laboratory procedures and data obtained are being analyzed. The team doing this study was also able to partner with Dr. Emeline Alejandro of the Department of Integrative Biology and Physiology at the University of Minnesota through our DOST PCHRD Balik Scientist program. The next under kalusugan, another update from the DOST Philippine Council for Health Research and Development, reporting the results of a UP, University of the Philippines study on detection and functional characterization of selected gene mutations in Filipino colorectal cancer patients. So they are reporting that this study has already been completed. This is entitled Detection and Functional Characterization of KRAS, NRAS, PIK3CA, DRAF, and PTEN gene mutations, in Filipino colorectal cancer patients, that is implemented by the Philippine Genome Center and the National Institute of Molecular Biology and Biotechnology at the University of the Philippines, Diliman. The genes in colorectal cancer patients were screened, and they did a functional analysis on novel mutations identified through the program in order to provide clinically relevant biomarkers that can be translated to commercial test kits for predicting drug response to anti-EGFR therapy. The program looked at mutations in selected genes, yun ang mga binanggit ko kanina, from 90 Filipino colorectal cancer patients. The results showed the existence of ethnicity-specific nuances in the mutational landscape of colorectal cancer patients. Now, results from the program are seen to pave the way towards the development of diagnostic tests that can predict drug response and efficacy prior to actual treatment. Furthermore, data from the program can potentially be valuable in developing new therapeutic technologies specifically for Filipino colorectal cancer patients. The third, under kalusugan, is a report that the DOST Food and Nutrition Research Institute's Malnutrition Reduction Program, or MRP, has bagged the 2021 Alberto G. Romualdez Jr. Outstanding Health Research Award. The DOST-FNRI's Malnutrition Reduction Program actually is a DOST program that demonstrates doing science for the people. Presently, this program covers 151 cities and municipalities in 54 provinces, 5,233 community health workers trained, and there were 27 approved local resolutions in the LGUs adopting the DOST Pinoy Nutrition Intervention Strategy. Now, from PiSAY, this is also related to kalusugan from our DOST Council for Industry, Energy, and Emerging Technologies, R&D. This is a project supported at Ateneo de Manila University to pilot test nanotechnology materials for the so-called new normal. So the researchers there are developing nanotechnology materials, okay, and are moving closer to pilot testing their coughing sensors, yung sensor sa pag-ubo, air circulator filters, and health monitors. And they are now requesting for the conduct of pilot testing at the Ateneo. Testing of the fabricated printed electronics are also ongoing, as well as integration of codes for the breathing simulator. Now, still from our DOST PiSAY, now there is a project there supporting at De La Salle University. This is a research on light-aided metal detectors for coronavirus, suggested to cover other applications. So the researchers from De La Salle University have been developing light-aided metal detectors for coronavirus. And it was suggested that they expand its application to cancer therapy, to biosensing, and bioimaging. Recently, in a presentation before the Philippine Genome Center, the director there, Dr. Cynthia Saloma, said the applications of the technology will go beyond detection of coronavirus. It can be refocused for other diseases. Now, still on kalusugan, at the UP Diliman, a project supported by the Department of Science and Technology is what they call SPICE, okay? Smart Plant Production in Controlled Environments. And this is actually being done, okay, at the laboratory in UP Diliman, presently in the Institute of Electrical Electronics Engineering Institute, but they are constructing a new facility, actually a bigger one, still in the technology area or technology park area of UP Diliman. So last July 6, I and President Danilo Concepcion of the UP, together with the PiSAY Director, Dr. Enrico Paringit, and the Chancellor of UP Diliman, Fidel Nemenso, visited the ongoing project on smart technologies or smart plant production in controlled environments, or SPICE, and we harvested, okay, different plants that have been grown there that are ready for consumption. They are arugula, bok choy, green spam, lettuce, and romaine crops that are found in the facility. They also developed a centralized control system for farm operations, complete with technical documentation of their system design, installation manual, and farm operations. Okay, so data from the sensors in the system are also harvested to monitor progress. They have developed prediction models to ascertain plant growth and optimum harvesting of the produce. They grow in a hydroponic setup within a controlled environment. Now, still on Kalusugan, and this will be the last under Kalusugan, our DOST in Mimaropa, Region 4B, together with the DOST Food and Nutrition Research Institute, has promoted enhanced Nutriban and also the Tubig Talino technologies to micro, small, and medium enterprises in Palawan. So many micro, small, and medium enterprises that are engaged in water refilling businesses, in bread production, took part in the technology fair done virtually. And there are several of them, 17 from industry and local government units that, of course, expressed interest in this. The enhanced Nutriban, as we know, it is the improved and reformulated version of the Nutriban distributed in the 1970s that contains more micronutrients necessary to meet the nutrient requirements for children. On the other hand, Tubig Talino is an iodine-rich drinking water that is promoted to be consumed to improve the iodine intake of Filipinos. So these participants who showed interest were advised to submit documentary requirements, including letters of intent to proceed with the application and technology transfer. Meron pa palang isa from DOST FNRI, and this is our report that FNRI has resumed face-to-face data collection of the expanded National Nutrition Survey. Of course, this is subject to the requirements and guidelines of the local governments in the area where they are going. So last July 1, I was there when we sent them off, the first batch of well-trained and dedicated field researchers who are headed to Tarlac. Okay, so this is actually going to be the first face-to-face data collection to be resumed since the pandemic started. And there are 37 provinces that will be covered by this face-to-face data collection this year, 2021. The National Nutrition Survey is the scientific basis for all the institutes, research and development, and the science, scientific and technological efforts, and they provide accurate data that help guide the development endeavors of the country in terms of food and nutrition R&D, as well as health and socioeconomic policies and programs, both at the local and national level. Next report will be on Kabuhayan. Now, under Kabuhayan, the first report is for the good of our tilapia growers. Okay, so they did a study. Actually, this was a project funded by the Philippine Council for Agriculture, Aquatic, and Natural Resources, R&D, or PICARD, and this was implemented by Central Luzon State University. it was observed that during summer months, okay, when it's very warm and temperature is high, the rate of spawning of tilapia goes down. Okay, and so they experimented on reducing the temperature. Okay, they were able to reduce water temperature by 3 degrees centigrade through the so-called aqua shade technology. This technology involves the installation of netting materials, nets, over the pond to provide shade during summer months. So it aids tilapia production, which is of course greatly affected by increasing water temperature. The intervention is aimed at increasing the production, okay, to sustain the demand and ensure feasible income among our tilapia growers. It was shown in the case of the first two hatcheries that reported that they have recorded an increase in fingerling production by as much as one reported 61% increase and the other 150% increase. Okay, so that would be for tilapia production. Now, over there at DOST Region 4A or DOST Calabarzon, what they reported is their project on community empowerment through science and technology. And they did this for our Dumagat tribe, okay, in Mauban, Quezon. And the livelihood that they introduced together with the other interventions would be in the case of bee colonies. They distributed bee colonies to the Dumagats, particularly the Samahan ng Ungkomot Niterang. Okay, that's the name of the association para sa agrikultura, sining at pangingisda. And this is found in Barangay Cagsiay 3, Mauban, Quezon. They also did a course on the proper and productive bee farming. Okay, and this was done by a bee farming expert, Dr. PJ De Castro. So this is under our CEST program. They also provided a honey presser and extractor and a 500-watt hybrid off-grid solar power system for the processing of honey to increase livelihood opportunities in the community. Another comes from DOST Region 8, and this time DOST Region 8 together with the Philippine Textile Research Institute and the local government unit of Ormoc City has established a pineapple fiber degamming facility in Ormoc City. This is to further enhance value-adding initiatives for the pineapple fiber industry. It is important to do the degamming, okay? And the assistance is in the form of the facility for pineapple fiber degamming that member farmers who plant pineapple, okay, to come up with the pineapple fibers are to benefit from this. Okay, so the amount that DOST Region 8 has invested was 880,000 for the treatment facility, and of course the fiber processing equipment is called pineapple fiber treatment recirculating degamming vessel. Okay, so that will help the association of farmers doing or planting this pineapple for fiber. Now, in region Caraga, we would like to report that our DOST in Caraga, through the community empowerment through science and technology, has extended assistance to a farmer association there, particularly for the processing of their product, particularly coffee, for coffee processing. And also the installation of internet connectivity to help the farmers there, okay, to get connected, okay, with a signal booster as well, to address the lack of signal and to have a good internet service connection that will help them in marketing their DOST assisted products. Still on Kabuhayan, the DOST Industrial Technology Development Institute partnered with the University of the Philippines, Diliman, for a market research project of halal cosmetics. The DOST ITDI signed a memorandum of agreement with UP Diliman for the project entitled Bench Scale Production, Safety Assessment, and Market Research of Halal Cosmetics and Toiletries. The engagement will be from this period up to October 2021. Under this project, the ITDI Halal Cosmetics and Toiletries R&D team will provide 50 sets of halal compliant products, including moisturizing lipstick, moisturizing lip balm, shampoo with hair growth promoting properties, and whitening and moisturizing bath soap, as well as whitening herbal toothpaste. These products were developed for the completed DOST shared project called Establishment of Halal Compliant Standardized Processes and Assurance System for Cosmetics and Toiletries. So hindi lang po food ang kailangan halal for our Muslim brothers and sisters, pati cosmetics and toiletries. So the UP Diliman team will do the market research on the developed halal compliant products, and they will also determine the demand potential among consumers, including market size, segmentation, potential positioning of halal cosmetics, as well as price sensitivity, placement points, and identifying likely manufacturers, as well as the study of cost sensitivity and product competitiveness. Now, in the case of our DOST Metals Industry Research and Development Center, their report has something to do with their new facility called the Advanced Mechatronics and Robotics Industrial Automation Laboratory. But this time, they are focusing assistance to Kalinga State University so that the Kalinga State University will also have capability in this area to reach out to more micro, small, and medium enterprises in the Cordillera Administrative Region by forming their own Kalinga State University local Amerial team. Okay, so the memorandum of agreement for this assistance was signed by our director of DOST CAR, by the president of Kalinga State University, President Eduardo Batang, and the executive director of our MIRDC in behalf of Amerial, Engineer Robert Dison. Next will be a report coming from our ITDI again. They have forged a partnership with the Philippine Army to develop and field test ready-to-eat RTE food rations for men in uniform. ITDI and the Research and Development Center under the Army Support Command of the Philippine Army signed the agreement last July 2, 2021. This is actually the terms of reference, by the way, for the project on ready-to-eat food rations for men in uniform. So ITDI is collaborating with the Philippine Army for this project entitled the Development and Field Testing of Ready-to-Eat Foods as Food Ration for Men in Uniform during combat and other high-risk operations. This is funded by DOST shared. Now, the food that they will rate initially are adobo, chicken adobo, beef curry, steamed rice, adobong kangkong, chicken apritada, and bangus sisig. Now, under Kaayusan, we have the DOST PBOLs. Very busy ang PBOLs because of Taal, and there are other volcanoes that are showing activity. They conducted an information campaign for the media, for press, and disaster risk reduction personnel on understanding the science of volcanoes. Okay, and they did this in cooperation, coordination with the Presidential Communications Operations Office, or PCOO, particularly the Philippine Information Philippine Information Agency, or PIA. Okay, so 82 registered and attended the orientation, focusing on understanding volcanic concepts and terminologies, hazards and impacts, and information on volcanoes and preparedness that was done by DOST PBOTs. So this is actually, this serves as an avenue to explain essential information and to clarify commonly misused concepts. This is to ensure the accuracy and consistency of the messages being relayed to the public and to promote effective science communication. Now, coming from our Philippine Textile Research Institute, they reported that the so-called non-woven fabrics, okay, still coming from our indigenous textiles, are to be tried as insoles in shoe production. So the DOST PTRI's non-woven textile innovation team has developed a blue sole as part of the diversification of Philippine textiles through non-woven innovations R&D program for the year 2021 to 2022. Blue sole is an insole made from natural textile fiber-based non-wovens using pineapple leaf fiber and is then applied to two different fabrics. A knit underlayer, knit, K-N-I-T, a knit underlayer, and a woven top layer. Made of two layers of non-wovens, the prototype is topped with a digitally printed 100% cotton knit supported by a cotton Peña woven underlayer or blue sole and fixed together by fabric adhesive. So the design dimensions follow commercial shoe inserts and can be customized to fit into most sizes. You just have to await for the costings, if it will be competitive. Next is actually a report under kinabukasan, and this is a report from the DOST National Research Council of the Philippines when they went to the barn, okay? So to craft the R&D agenda for the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. They were there for a 2-day consultation workshop to craft the BARM R&D agenda, okay? And it revealed that the priority areas that they have at BARM are in bio researches, water security, education, disaster resilience, medical services, social services, and cultural preservation and promotion. And now I think we are coming to the last item. The Japan Science and Technology Agency has backed or supported international cooperation amid the new normal. And they lauded DOST collaborations that led to science and technology innovations. This cooperation between our countries is considered urgent, as explained by the Director for International Affairs of the Japan Science and Technology Agency, Director Osamu Kobayashi, who was our guest speaker during the DOST Shared's 11th anniversary. So he said that the coronavirus disease will not be the last disaster of a global scale. And while common challenges are getting increasingly complicated, they cannot be solved alone. Therefore, the need for cooperation. Other projects that he cited that were already done in collaboration between the Japan Science and Technology Agency and the Department of Science and Technology are projects on the development of extreme weather monitoring and information sharing system in the Philippines. Okay, that has somehow led to the development of Diwata 1 and the project called Enhancement of Earthquake and Volcano Monitoring and Effective Utilization of Disaster Mitigation Information in the Philippines for PVOLs. And this was used as an early alert for the evacuation in the massive Taal volcano eruption in 2020. That brings to a close my report for this week, covering kalusugan, kinabukasan, kaayusan, at kinabukasan. Maraming salamat sa inyong pakikinig.
Maraming salamat po, Sec Boy, sa aming pong pagbalik. Kikilalanin natin ang ilan sa mga naging scholars ng Philippine Science High School o PiSAY. Sigurado mag-inspire tayong lahat sa kanilang success stories. Sa pagbalik po yan ng DOST Report. Ipinakatutok sa DOST Report, ang Philippine Science High School ay isang attached agency ng Department of Science and Technology na nagbibigay scholarship sa mga mag-aaral na may mataas na aptitude sa science and mathematics. Una po na inatag ang PSHS noong 1964 sa ilalim ng Republic Act No. 3661 on PSHS Charter. Noong pong 1997, naipasa ang Republic Act 8486 on PSHS System Law kung saan sumailalim po sa isang sistema ng pamahalaan ngayon ay 16 na existing science high school campuses sa bansa sa mga siwa po ng Board of Trustees na pinamumunuan ng kanina ng Department of Science and Technology.
Makalipas ang halos 57 taon ay marami nang napagtapos ang Philippine Science High School. Marami sa mga nagtapos dito ay mga kilalang pangalan sa ating bansa at kahit sa ibang bansa. At sila ay mga naging matagumpay sa kanilang mga larangan. Kilalanin natin ang ilan sa kanila na bisita natin ngayon.
Ngayong araw po makinig tayo sa kwento ng ilan sa mga dating PiSAY scholars na ngayon ay matagumpay na at kinikilala na sa kanilang larangan mula sa government, sa industry at sa academe. Makakasama po natin sina Honorable Carlo Alexi Binograles, Cabinet Secretary, Office of the Cabinet Secretariat, Dr. Rowena Cristina L. Guevara, Undersecretary for Research and Development, Department of Science and Technology, Dr. Reynaldo B. Vea, President and CEO, Mapua University, Engineer Ramon I. Castillo, President and CEO, Innovatronics Incorporated. Umpisa na po natin ang ating talakayan. Nakasama po natin ngayon si Dr. Rowena Cristina L. Guevara, ang Undersecretary for Research and Development ng DOST. Siya po ang first woman dean ng UP College of Engineering. Siya po ay Professor 12 sa Electrical and Electronics Engineering Institute, specializing in speech and audio signal processing, time frequency analysis and synthesis, and artificial intelligence. Kinilala rin po siya bilang Metrobank Foundation Outstanding Teacher at ginawaran ng 2019 Award for Continuing Excellence in Service or ACES ng Metrobank Foundation at ng 2018 Gawad CES Presidential Award. Kabilang po siya sa batch 1918 ng Philippine Science High School. Magandang araw po, Undersecretary Guevara.
Magandang agham sa iyo, Onin, Secboy, at sa ating mga kapwa PiSAY alumni.
Yusek Geb, hanggang ngayon ay malapit ka pa rin sa science and technology. Paano nakatulong sa iyo ang iyong karanasan bilang PiSAY scholar?
Secboy, una, dahil puro valedictorian at salutatorian ang mga kaklase ko sa PiSAY, maaga kong natutunan na ang daming mas matatalinong tao kaysa sa akin. Bukod sa humbling yung experience, maaga akong na-appreciate na nag-uumapaw ang scientific talent sa bansa natin. Pangalawa, natuto ako mag-research sa PiSAY kasi required ito sa 3rd at 4th year. Kaya naman hanggang ngayon, research pa rin ang pinagkakaabalahan ko sa DOST bilang USEC for R&D. At pangatlo, nung makita ko ang facility ng Philippine Science High School, naukit sa utak ko kung ano ang itsura ng magandang R&D infrastructure. Kaya naman sinusulong natin sa DOST ang Science for Change program na kung saan nagtatayo tayo ng mga R&D centers sa iba't ibang state universities and colleges at higher education institutes sa buong bansa. At hinihikayat rin natin ang private sector na mag-invest sa R&D na katuwang ang DOST.
Opo. Yusek Geb, sa mga nakalipas po na taon, patuloy po ang maraming maganda accomplishments po ng DOST. Umangat po ang rango ng Pilipinas sa Global Innovation Index at tumataas rin ang S&T awareness sa mga Pilipino. Yusek Geb, sa inyo pong palagay, anong area po ang nangailangang pagtuunan pa ng pansin ng DOST?
Onin, alam mo, 25% ng budget ng DOST nasa human resource development. Kailangan dumaki din yung ating pondo para sa R&D. At sinusulong nga natin yung Science for Change program bill para sigurado na yung funding natin for R&D in the future. At syempre, kailangan din natin mag-launch yung mga tinatawag na long-term R&D programs para tuloy-tuloy yung ating pag-angat sa mga areas na to. Katulad ng health sufficiency and responsiveness to public health. Pangalawa is yung defense and security R&D. Pangatlo, yung nuclear science for energy, health, agriculture, and industry. Pang-apat, yung S&T for creative tourism and services industry. At panglima, sana magkaroon tayo ng tinatawag naming CRADLE or Collaborative Research and Development to Leverage the Philippine Economy for Industry or iCradle na para isang buong industriya yung matutulungan natin using R&D from the academe. Kailangan mag-transfer tayo ng mga technology ng mga nakumpletong projects na pinondohan hindi lamang ng DOST, kundi ng iba pang government funding agencies ng government.
Yusek Geb, ano naman ang iyong hiling para sa science and technology para sa ating bansa?
Boy, ito talagang super wish. Sana po may R&D funding na 10 billion sa 2022 ang DOST. At sana po kada taon tumaas po ang budget for research and development hanggang umabot sa 2% ng Government Appropriations Act by 2026.
Ang susunod naman nating makapanayam ay isang man of first. Kabilang siya sa first batch ng Philippine Science High School. Sila yung mga nagtapos noong 1969. At siya rin ang kauna-unahang valedictorian ng Philippine Science High School.
At siya rin po ang chairman ng Engineering Sciences and Technology Division ng National Academy of Science and Technology. Chairman po ng Philippine Science High School Foundation Incorporated. Isa po sa DOST's 50 Great Men and Women of Science. At dating President ng Association for Engineering Education in Southeast Asia and the Pacific. Yan po ilan lamang sa napakahabang listahan na naging tagumpay at karangalan niya. At ngayon po, Presidente at CEO ng Mapua University at Chief Executive Officer and Director ng iPeople Incorporated. Wala pong iba kundi si Dr. Reynaldo B. Vea. Magandang araw po.
Magandang araw din naman.
Paano naman nakatulong sa iyo ang karanasan mo sa Philippine Science High School?
Unang-una, ang aking naging trabaho ay bilang inenyero. Sandali lang yon. Pero sa katagalan ay pagiging administrador ng eskwelahan sa UP at sa Mapua. Masasabi ko, dahil sa pag-aaral ng mathematics at ng agham sa Philippine Science High School, naging mas disiplinado ang aking pag-iisip sa mga problema. Unang-una, pagdaan mo sa geometry, mga axioms, mga postulate, mga theorem, mga yung mga collateral conclusions, it's very well ordered, no? Ngayon din sa algebra, anong hinihimay mo kung ano yung unknown, kung ano yung mga known quantities, at of course, sa agham, yung pamamaraan o method, scientific method, ay maukit sa isip mo habang buhay. Kasama dito ang hindi ka agad magkakaroon ng mabilisan ng isang konklusyon. Dadaan sa malalim na pag-iisip, gagawa ka, maybe you have to make a hypothesis, and then dadaan mo sa isang pagsubok kung totoo o hindi bago ka gumawa ng matibay na konklusyon. So ito ang naging impluwensya sa akin ng pag-aaral sa Philippine Science High School. At huling-huli, yung atraksyon sa paggamit ng mga modern tools of science, like kung sa edukasyon, I'm attracted to modern tools like learning management system and those that apply to engineering and scientific problems. So malaki ang naging impluwensya ng pag-aaral ko sa PiSAY.
Dr. Vea, sa inyo pong palagay, anong programa po ng DOST ang may kaugnayan o maaaring makatulong po sa inyong field of work sa ngayon?
Marami. Unang-una, sa scholarship. Matagal na kaming nakikinabang sa scholarship ng DOST, lalong-lalo na ngayong itong mga nakalipas na taon lang. Simula ng 2007, nagkaroon na kami ng 174 na DOST SEI Scholar, mga undergraduate students. Sa graduate school naman, marami na rin kami naging mga scholars. Banggitin ko yung bilang sa ERDT, sa mga Masters of Science Scholars, 464. So mantakin mo yun, dami nun. At sa PhD naman, 64 ang naging estudyante ng Mapua na suportado ng DOST ERDT or Engineering R&D for Technology Program. Pangalawa, maliban sa scholarship, marami na rin kaming natanggap na mga research grant mula sa DOST. Lalong-lalo na itong mga nakaraang taon na ito, no? 500 milyong piso o kalahating bilyon na ang naibigay ng DOST para sa mga research ng MAPUA. At yung iba dito ay nagbunga na at sinuportahan pa rin muli ng DOST yung commercialization ng teknolohiya na ito. Ang tinutukoy ko ay ang health monitoring ng mga building, lalong-lalo na pag nagkakaroon ng lindol, no? So ito ay kino-commercialize ngayon at ako'y natutuwa na pati itong proseso ng pag-commercialize ay suportado ng DOST. Sa pa yung pagpapagamit sa MAPUA ng mga facilities ng DOST. Nung 2 linggo nakaraan, binuksan yung AMSEN and I believe na magagamit ito ng lalong-lalo na ng mga faculty namin. Pangalawa, pag na-aprobahan na yung PhD in nanotechnology, ang mga facilities ng ITD ay magiging bukas para sa mga faculty at mga estudyante ng programa na ito. At siguro, ang isa pa, medyo informally na nasabihan na kami. Siguro pwede ko na rin sabihin. Pag natanggap namin yung pondo para sa Technology Business Incubator, malaking bagay po ito para sa amin. In fact, may pangalan na kami para sa laboratorio. Pangalan namin ay Think and Tinker Laboratory.
Wow.
Wow.
Ay,
So yun ang naging tulong ng DOST sa amin. Maraming salamat po doon.
salamat din, Dr. Bea. At nalulat binanggit mo yung ating planong magbukas ng PhD by Research in Nanotechnology. Yan ang magiging kauna-unahan kung sakali sa DOST na PhD by Research. Nakatulong ang aming isang Research and Development Institute. Alam niyo, Onin, banggitin ko na very proud ako kay Dr. Bea. Aaminin ko na naging teacher ako ni Dr. Bea. Okay, ito. Anyway, kung ang hiling ni Yusek Geb ay 10 billion for 2022 for science and technology, ano naman kaya ang wish ni Dr. Bea para sa science and technology ng ating bansa?
Ang aking lang wish talaga ay magkaroon ng interest ang maraming estudyante pa na magpatuloy ng pag-aaral sa graduate school, no? MS at PhD, para magkaroon tayo ng maraming mga researchers. At maaari naman tayong makilahok na kasama at kalaban yung mga ibang bansa na malakas sa research, development, and innovation. Makadevelop tayo ng sarili nating teknolohiya. Ang aking pangalawang hiling, medyo siguro makasarili, ay magkaroon ng mas malinaw na pathway na daan ang mga magiging graduate ng PiSAY sa kolehiyo. Para tuloy-tuloy hanggang PhD ay masuportahan sila sa isang malinaw na programa sa mga pampubliko at pampribadong mga tertiary educational institutions. Sana magkaroon tayo ng ganun. Yun ang aking kahilingan. At ang aking mensahe sa DOST naman ay keep up the good work. Yun lang aking masasabi.
Salamat.
Maraming salamat po, Dr. Reynaldo Bea. Mapalat po tayong mapaunlakan ngayong araw ni Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles. Magandang araw po.
Ay, magandang araw sa iyo, Oni, at magandang araw din po sa aking idol, si Secretary Boy.
Si Secretary Nograles ay kabilang sa batch 1993 ng Philippine Science High School sa main campus sa Quezon City. Ang tanong ko lang kay Sec Nograles, nung bang nag-aaral ka pa sa Philippine Science High School, ay may ideya ka na ba kung anong kurso ang kukunin mo sa kolehiyo?
Wala po. Actually, ang first na gusto ko sana, Sec Boy, ay maging doktor. Yun yung actually first ambition ko. Pero never nawala sa akin yung takot ko sa dugo pati sa injection. Kaya hindi po natuloy. Ang kinuha ko pong kurso sa college ay engineering. So napunta po ako sa Management Engineering sa Ateneo de Manila at nagtrabaho naman po ako after sa pag-graduate ko pagka-Management Engineering sa Ateneo. Nagtrabaho ko sandali hanggang na sinubukan ko nga pong pumasok ng law school at naging masaya naman ako sa law school. Nagtapos ako ng pagka-abogado natin at nagtrabaho tayo bilang abogado hanggat napasok tayo sa larangan ng politika at hanggat natapos din tayo sa ating pagka-kongresista at na-appoint ni Pangulong Duterte. Kasama mo po, Secboy, dito sa gabinete.
Alright. Sir, paano po nakatulong ang PiSAY sa inyong pong pagkapasya?
Nako, unang-una sa lahat, yung disiplina ng problem solving. At napaka-importante po talaga nito, lalong-lalo na kami ni Secboy ay puro problem solving ang ginagawa natin dito sa laban against COVID-19. Ano po? So kasama sa disiplina ng problem solving, yung analytical thinking at perseverance at pagpupuyat. Lahat yan dala-dala natin dito sa trabaho natin sa gabinete. So perseverance, never giving up kahit anong problem ang hinaharap mo. Lahat na alam mo naman sa Philippine Science, yung mga exams na binibigay sa iyo, yung mga exams na halos hindi mo masagot. Pero kailangan talaga yung mga pinaka-challenging na questions ay sina-challenge ka talaga at yung perseverance nga at yung pagpupuyat na kailangan gawin. At yung disiplina ng scientific method din. Dala-dala mo yan sa buong buhay mo. Yung scientific method, maging saan ka mapunta sa mundo o maging anuman ang magiging trabaho mo pagkatapos, you'll always bring the scientific method. At yan nga po, yung kasama dyan, yung critical thinking and of course yung paggamit mo rin ng technology na alam mo rin na in all of the problems na hinaharap mo, may solution and there's always a scientific solution to any problem and a technological solution to any problem.
Alright. Mga kaibigan, ulitin ko lamang po, nagtapos po Secretary Nograles ng BS Management Engineering sa Ateneo de Manila University at ang Juris Doctor naman sa Ateneo de Manila Law School. Nanungkulan ng tatlong termino bilang congressman ng 1st District of Davao City kung saan kinilala siya bilang outstanding congressman noong 2012 at 2015 ng Super Brands Marketing International. At nakatanggap na po siya ng Golden Globe Awards for Excellence in Public Service noong 2015 at 2016. At ngayon po nanunungkulan bilang Cabinet Secretary at Co-Chair ng Interagency Task Force on Emerging Infectious Disease or IATF. At dahil po sa isa pong DOST sa mga ahensya na inyong nakatrabaho, ano pong programa po ng DOST, sir, ang may kaugnayan o maaaring makatulong po sa inyong panunungkulan?
Ako po'y tinalaga ni Pangulong Duterte maliban sa pagiging cabinet secretary natin. Tayo rin po yung ginawa niyang chair ng Task Force Zero Hunger. At sa pagbuo po natin ng ating National Food Policy na siyang roadmap natin para marating ang Zero Hunger by 2030. Napakalaki po ng role ng Department of Science and Technology dito. Una sa lahat, yung research and development po on food technology, food innovation and development. Maraming mga ginagawang mga proyekto ang DOST family tungkol sa mga nutritious food products na siyang tutulong sa atin na labanan ang malnutrisyon at kagutuman. Nandyan yung rice mongo curls, nandyan yung squash puree, nandyan yung pagbabalik ng enhanced Nutriban na meron na pong squash variant at carrot variant. Opo. At nariyan din po yung iba pa mga ibang mga food products, no. Kasama diyan yung micronutrient growth mix, yung multi-nutrient rice kernel para sa mga pregnant and lactating mothers at yung pinakabagong i-research ngayon yung functional food products with prebiotic properties. Napaka-importante rin yan para sa mga digestive systems din po ng gusto natin maging beneficiaries. Pangalawa, yung sa National Food Policy po natin, yung ginawa nating role ng Department of Science and Technology ay tungkol po sa food safety. At malaki po yung role ng DOST sa food safety, alinsunod sa Food Safety Act na batas, kasama po ang DOST as member ng Food Safety Regulation Coordinating Board, no? At meron pong DOST Integrated Food Safety System Program. At maraming mga pwedeng maging contribution ng DOST dito, especially yung pag-establish natin ng mga food safety guidelines for establishments, yung inspection and grading system for food service sectors, yung pag-accredit natin ng mga food safety teams, at yung innovations na kinakailangan natin para ma-increase din po natin ang ating food productivity. Kasi pati yung research and development sa agricultural and fishery sector in terms of food production, napakalaki rin po ng mayaambag at mako-contribute ng DOST in the terms of research and development.
Okay.
Alam niyo yung kagutuman po, dadagdag ko lang, no?
Apo.
Yung kagutuman po, ito yung next problem natin pagkatapos ng COVID. Kami po ni Secboy, we are confident na ma-achieve na natin yung herd immunity, no, by end of 2021. At yung harapin natin problema sa 2022 po, yung problema ng kagutuman. At dito po papasok talaga yung kinakailangan natin gawin at umaasa kami sa mas malaking role ng DOST sa paghanap ng solusyon, kasi magagaling tayo sa problem solving, sa analytical thinking, sa perseverance, sa scientific method at critical analysis. So we hope that our scientists can help us in this battle against hunger.
Mukhang hindi na sayang ang natutuhan sa science and technology ni Captain Nograles. Lalo ngayon na zero hunger ang kanyang assignment. Now, kung ang hiling ni Yusek Guevara ay 10 billion for R&D, si Dr. Bea naman, ang hiling niya ay magkaroon ng maganda at malinaw na plano para sa mga career na tatahakin ng ating mga Philippine Science High School graduate. Ano naman ang iyong wish for science and technology in our country?
I wish for more scientists as advisors to government and as policymakers in government. I wish for more research and development. I wish for more scientists. I wish for more scholarships. I wish for more students taking science and technology courses. I wish for more science-based research in policy making, and I wish for more technology adapters also, especially pagdating sa sektor ng agriculture, sa fisheries, sa food production, sa food technology, sa medicines, and in education. In other words, malaki po ang maiaambag ng mga Filipino scientists dito sa new normal, no? As we transition from this fight against COVID-19 to a pandemic resilient Philippines, no? At I think we will need more scientists. If there is anything that COVID-19 has proven to us, is the fact that we need more scientists in the Philippines.
Okay. Maraming salamat po, Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles. Ang susunod po namin bisita ay isang successful entrepreneur. Siya po ay batch 1977 sa Philippine Science High School. Naging Senior Automation Engineer sa Intel Philippines bago nagtayo ng sariling kumpanya, ang Innovatronics Incorporated, na nagbibigay ng iba't ibang produkto at serbisyo gaya ng electronics design and assembly, photography and imaging, power electronics, electric vehicles, and aquaculture farming. Kabilang po dito ang Tronics Imaging Center na maaaring pamilya po ang ating mga kababayan. Siya po ay Most Outstanding Aklano 1999 in the field of science and technology. Kinilala rin po siya bilang 2003 o 2003 Most Outstanding Entrepreneur ng Electronic Industries Association of the Philippines. At meron siyang 9 patents sa area ng renewable energy, digital printing technology, power electronics at energy savings. Walang iba, Engineer Ramon Castillo. Magandang araw po.
Good afternoon, Ron Onin.
Apo.
Bagamat alam namin na mga may pinagdadaan ng pagsubok ang mga kumpanya ngayon at ang mga industriya dito sa panahon ng pandemya, alam naman namin ang kumpanya mo ay kilala na rin at pinagtitiwalaan dito sa ating bansa. Sa kabila ng iyong tagumpay sa negosyo at sa teknolohiya, papaano nakatulong sa iyo ang iyong karanasan sa Philippine Science High School?
Boy, good afternoon. Actually, inisip ko yan kagabi kung ano talaga ang pinakamalaking tulong na Philippine Science High School sa akin. More than yung mga scientific research and everything. Parang mas naisip ko na ang pinakamalaking tulong talaga sa akin ng Philippine Science High School is two things. Number one is patriotism. I don't know, siguro sa teachers din. Importante kasi yung sa teachers eh. So,
Tama po.
yan ang unang natutunan ko sa Philippine Science, which is na maging makatulong tayo sa bayan. Number two, na pinakamalaking natutunan ko siguro sa Philippine Science High School is managinip. No? I come from a poor family sa province of Baclan. And nung nakapasok ako sa Philippine Science High School, nagkaroon ako ng confidence na baka kaya ko. So those two things are very important. Number one, yung patriotism allowed me not to dream of going abroad. Wala sa isip ko ever since of going abroad. Since naisip ko na kailangan ko ring maging successful para makatulong sa bayan, sabi ko, I will do it kung saan ako na-train, which is in science and technology. So eventually, I decided to open my own company. Kasi nga naniniwala ako na kakayanin ko rin, and naniniwala ako na makakatulong sa bansa ako sa bansa. So we opened a science and technology company. We're doing a lot of research. We're exporting our products right now in the US. Ang dami naming customers abroad, in the local market, marami rin. And so far, I have been successful in generating at least 800 jobs. And even during this pandemic, I'm proud to say na wala akong nilay off na tao, wala akong finorlo na tao. So we're intact as an organization. Just like what Secretary Nograles said, we are in a survival mode. But we are surviving well. Okay naman. Dahil sa training mo sa Philippine Science High School that problems do occur and how do you solve the problem, now we're getting by. And I believe that I have this very strong feeling that we will come out stronger from this pandemic compared to when we joined nung pumasok itong pandemic na to. So it's not really a wasted experience. At natutuwa talaga ako dahil napakalaking tulong sa akin ang Philippine Science, dahil nga napakalaking utang na loob ko sa Pilipinas na napaaral ako sa Philippine Science, at doon ako nagsimulang naniniwala na may magagawa ako na mas makakatulong sa bayan.
Engineer Castillo, bilang isang kumpanya na nagbibigay po ng iba't ibang innovative technology, ano po ang programa ng DOST ang sa tingin niyo po ay makakatulong po sa inyo?
Actually, ako online, hindi ako masyadong mahilig humingi ng tulong. No, in fact, sa dami kong kilala sa DOST, wala akong projects with DOST. Kasi nga, as much as possible, I'm training my people to be self-sufficient. Pero marami pa rin. Like for example, yung test laboratories, medyo mahal yun. Hindi naman namin kayang magkuhan ng mga kuhan. So, for example, especially when we started exporting our products, maraming mga requirements na like sa electromagnetic radiation, wala kami noon. So dati pinapadala pa namin sa either Singapore or sa Germany yung aming mga products for testing. Now, hindi naman problema yung magpadala kami, may panggastos naman kami. Ang problema namin, napakatagal. No? Minsan napakasimpleng problema lang. Ililipat lang o babaguhin lang ang value ng resistor. Aabutin ng padala mo, itetest nila, ibabalik sa iyo, sasabihin ng problema, ipapadala mo na naman. Samantalang nung nagkaroon ng mga testing facilities ang DOST dito, nakaupo na mismo yung engineer namin doon sa nagtitest. So, yung inaabot ng 3 buwan bago ma-address ang problema, ngayon 20 minutes na lang, pwede mo na uling iparetest. So, napakalaking bagay po yan kasi sa technology, kung ikaw ang nauna, malaki ang lamang mo lalo na sa export market. No? And we have a lot of products right now na we can consider the first. No? Like for example, kami po ang unang naglabas ng produkto na studio flash o flash para sa smartphone. Hindi lang para sa DSLR or mirrorless camera but for the smartphone. Right now we're exporting yung scoreboards namin na wireless HDMI technology. Kumbaga sa wireless na nadi-display sa TV, LED TV yung sa console mo. So
Yes.
napakalaking bagay dahil hindi na kami nagpapadala ng kunyari nagbebenta kami sa scoreboard sa US na marami kaming market. Hindi na kami nagpapadala ng console lang ang pinapadala namin. Ikaw at saka yung receiver sa kabilang side. Ikaw na ang maglalagay ng sarili mong LED TV kasi kahit saan bansa naman, kahit saan lugar, nabibili ang TV at saka mura na lang ngayon ng mga malalaking TV. Yung 75 inches na TV ngayon parang 50,000 pesos na lang or $1,000 na lang. So yung mga test systems ng DOST napakalaking tulong sa amin dahil imbis na inaabot kunyari ng 2 years ang research namin, nagagawa namin ng less than 1 year dahil nga nandito na katabi na namin yung mga testing laboratory.
Mon, ako'y very proud din sa iyo at natatandaan ko pa siguro mga bandang 1990 or 1991 una kong pinuntahan ng iyong kumpanya sa isang maliit na apartment sa Cubao, somewhere doon sa lugar na yon. At doon ko nakita kung paano ang ginawa mong talagang dedication for innovation and yung may paniniwala talaga si Mo sa kakayahan ng Pilipino. Ano naman ang mahihiling mo pa for science and technology mo sa ngayon?
Alam mo, Sekboy, ang gusto ko sana magkaroon ng entrepreneurial education ng mga teachers na nagtuturo ng science at technology. Kasi marami akong nakikita mga gandang research projects na ang final output ay nasa cabinet. No, na mas maganda sana kung napagpeperahan. No, mas malaking kuwan kung napagpeperahan na alam mo nung pumasok ako nung nag-apply ako sa YAPI 1991 o 1990, isa ako sa pinakabatang entrepreneurs in the electronic field sa YAPI. Ngayong 2020, isa pa rin ako sa pinakabata na entrepreneur sa YAPI. So ibig sabihin, halos walang puwapasok. You know, we have to teach the young graduates risk taking, no? Na taking risk is not a waste of time. Marami kasi sa atin ayaw mag-risk kasi baka hindi naman mag-succeed. Tapos pag hindi nag-succeed, sayang yung 3 o 4 na taon kung nagnegosyo tapos hindi naman nag-succeed, no? Yung ganun ang nakikita ko mentality ng karamihan eh. I remember even Yusek Geb started her own business, and it was not a success in the per se as a business, but I think it helped hone also the character of Yusek Geb na nagagamit niya ngayon in her chosen path as one. She's one of the best engineers that I have met so I hope that it should be part of the education program, no, na magkaroon, isasama yung entrepreneurship na kuan. Kasi alam mo, kaya yung mga ibang bansa mayayaman kasi nale-leverage talaga nila yung science and technology nila sa pinagkikitaang pera. For example, Silicon Valley, very very common sa kanilang being an entrepreneur eh. Nang pag may nakikitang magandang produkto or bagong idea, negosyo kaagad ang iniisip. Paano natin mapagpeperahan ito? Ganun yung one like Amazon for example. What Amazon did was really at the current state of technology something that anybody else can do, no? Pero remember that they started Amazon way back 1994. During that time, talagang bago pa, and they were willing. Jeff Bezos was willing to take that risk. So I hope na maisama yun sa. Honestly, I do not know how, pero sana maisama yung entrepreneurial skills na yun kasi napakalaking bagay.
Maraming salamat po, Engineer Ramon Castillo. Bilang pangwakas po sa lahat ng ating mga bisita, ano po ang mensahe ninyo sa mga kabataan, lalo ngayon sa remote at blended learning papunta po tayo?
Alam mo, maraming kabataan ngayon ay mga tinatawag na digital natives, no?
Opo.
Yung mga gumraduate ng high school ngayong taon na to, sabi ko sa kanila, pinanganak kayo nung simula ng siglo na ito, the turn of the century. Nung panahon na yon ay firmly in place na ang internet at ang World Wide Web.
Opo.
Nung kayo'y nasa edad na para gumamit ng social platform, ng mga social media, doon naman nag-explode ang social media, no? I think you have to be 14 years old or so to be permitted to use that. Of course, nobody enforces that or looks at that, no? Pero doon sila nakagamit ng gusto nung nandiyan ang social media. Nung nagpasok naman sila sa high school ay nag-mature na ang mga learning management systems. So sabi ko, napakaswerte nyo. Kayong henerasyon ng mga kabataan na kayo yung mga digital natives. Ano? So ang hiling ko sa kanila ay they'll have to keep up. And they have to, to maybe outdo themselves so that they can get ahead of the future and of the world. No? So kailangan parati silang masusing mag-aaral, pati na ng mga bagong teknolohiya na lalabas pa sa mga darating na taon. At maaari rin ay, sabi ni Mon, maglingkod sa ating bayan. Dito sana para mapaunlad natin ng lalo ang ating inang bayan. Yun lang.
Education should not stop. No? Kailangan patuloy ang edukasyon. Maging anuman ang sitwasyon, maging anuman ang circumstances natin, kailangan po natin ipagpatuloy ang edukasyon ng ating mga kabataan. At kailangan rin po natin i-improve ang ating connection sa internet, sa Wi-Fi. We need to really accelerate yung ating Wi-Fi and internet program, mga projects natin to boost the speed of internet and the accessibility ng internet sa buong kapuluan. And I think that can be done. And I think yun ang magiging next frontier natin. Alam nyo yung exposure ng mga kabataan sa internet through free Wi-Fi, I think magbunga yan ng a lot of information. Magkakaroon ng exposure ang mga bata natin sa lahat ng, and that exposure to information I think will be able to produce a lot of critical thinkers, a lot of analytical minds, and I think this is the new frontier in terms of science and technology. With the vast information na makikita natin sa web, I think marami sa ating mga kabataang Pilipino ang magiging future innovators. Na yun ang magiging new technologies and new industries that will help move our country forward.
Nakwento sa akin ng mga parents ko that they had a very hard time studying. Na una, they have to walk kasi walang transportation, but they survived and they did better. So sabi ko, huwag kayong masyadong, minsan mga bata madaling matakot, madaling madismaya sa pag nagkaroon nung pagbabago yung kanilang nakasanayan. Sabi ko, hindi naman kayo mga autistic na bago lang yung nakasanayan nyo, parang hindi nyo na alam kung anong gagawin. You have to learn how to adjust. And nobody wanted this pandemic, but it's here. And so we have to live with it, and we have to do whatever is necessary to continue on living, continue. So yun lang yung sinasabi ko sa kanila, huwag kayo masyadong mataranta. Of course, it's not ideal. Sino ba? Wala namang ideal ngayon but then, life goes on.
Secretary Boy, baka may nais po kayo ipabatid sa ating mga panauhin at sa ating mga taga-subaybay.
Una muna ay taus-pusong pasasalamat ko sa ating mga naging panauhin ngayon, mga graduates ng ating Philippine Science High School na nasa iba't ibang larangan. Pangalawa ay sana maraming nanonood na mga estudyante at graduates ng Philippine Science High School at marinig sana nila yung mga sharing na isinagawa ngayon. Gusto ko lang banggitin na yung scholarship namin sa Department of Science and Technology at different levels, hindi lang naman nakatutulong doon sa mga scholars na aming binibigyan ng award. Alam ninyo, yung buong pamilya nila natutulungan sa iba't ibang pamamaraan. Kaya naiaahon talaga yung kanilang buong pamilya from poverty sa pamamagitan ng pagtulong sa isang bata na may talino bilang maging isang science scholar ng DOST, whether PiSAY or sa BS or sa iba pang level. At siguro napakaganda ng sinabi ng ating mga panauhin ngayon. Unang-una na nga yung sinabi ni Dr. Bea tungkol sa magkaroon sana ng magandang planong tatahakin ng ating mga scholars. Nang sa ganun ay makinabang tayo ng gusto at sila rin ay makinabang sa kanilang mga naging karanasan at natutuhan sa atin. Pangalawa, yung sinabi ni Cabsec Nograles, yung magkaroon sana ng mas maraming scientists na tutulong sa gobyerno, magpapayo o kaya naman magse-serve sa gobyerno. Kasi kung minsan yung mga scientists they avoid public service, maliban sa research and development. At pangatlo, yung sinabi ni Mon kanina, yung tungkol sa nationalism, and not only that, yung kanyang suggestion about the technopreneurship. Actually, kanina babanggitin ko sana na si Mon yung aking parang modelo sa technopreneurship. Kasi talagang di naman siya nakinabang sa aming R&D, sa sarili nilang R&D yung kanilang ginawa. Kahit sa pera, at that time wala naman kaming na itulong sa kanya, pero napalago niya. Of course ngayon nagdadaan tayo sa hirap, lahat naman ang kumpanya, whether small or big, ay nagdadaan sa mga pagsubok sa ngayon. So ay sana magkaroon pa tayo ng maraming katulad nila, at ako naman ay hanggang ngayon very very optimistic pa rin ako para sa ating bansa. Isa ako doon sa hindi umalis. Whether I'm talking of my own family, ako lang naiwan dito, or I'm talking of my classmates na pag nag-meet kami sa Zoom na lang kasi puro nasa Amerika sila lahat, palagay ko naman mas marami na ngayong merong puso para maging patriots for our country. Salamat.
Maraming salamat, Secretary Boy, sa amin pong pagbabalik sa sagutin ni Sec Boy at ng ating mga panauhin. Ang tanong ng bayan, wag po kayong bibitiw, magbabalik pa ang DOST Report. Oras na para sagutin ni Secretary Boy ang tanong ng bayan para po sa unang katanungan mula po kay Lynn Resurrection ng ang Senior Editor po ng Business Mirror. What is in the curriculum and method of teaching in PiSAY that produce graduates who become government and private company leaders like Yusek Guevara, Secretary Nograles, Dr. Peña, and Mr. Castillo, and many others?
Well, unang-una ay hindi nagkaroon ng spoon feeding sa mga estudyante, no? Yung mga guro ay talagang hinamon kami na maging matatag sa aming sarili sa pagtugon sa mga katanungan nila, sa mga challenge nila. Kaya doon na palagay ko doon na build yung yung character din to be independent, and ultimately I guess isang katangian niyan para maging leader sa gobyerno man o sa pampribadong sektor, no? So, pangalawa, binigyan kami ng pamamaraan kung paano maging mga leader sa hinaharap, ano? Ito yung content ng kanilang mga tinuro sa amin. Na hanggang sa ngayon ay nagagamit 'yan. Na kung gusto mo na maging na ma-quantify ang mga problema mo, pwede mong gawin 'yon. Kung may background ka na galing sa Philippine Science, halimbawa. Kung gusto mo ng logic, nagturo rin ng logic para sa pagbigay ng mga solusyon sa mga problema. Sa method, nabanggit na rin na binigyan ng method how to do these things, no? In method and in content and in value. So yun ang palagay ko hindi lang sa curriculum, no? Kundi doon na rin sa pagtuturo ng mga guro namin kung paano kaming pinalaki habang nag-aaral kami sa Philippine Science. Pero sa curriculum, medyo lamang na rin talaga naman ang Philippine Science High School, no? Dahil medyo mas abante ang tinuturo doon, pinag-aaralan.
Ang susunod na katanungan po mula kay Divina Pastora Reyes, PhD Managing Editor at regular columnist on S&T ng Ulad Bayan NCR News Weekly. Mula po na maging kongresista po kayo hanggang sa maging Cabinet Secretary ngayon bilang isang PiSAY student, ano po ang maituturing ninyong malaking bahagi ng pag-unlad nyo sa serbisyo publiko?
Una sa lahat, yung natutunan ko sa PiSAY, yung value of education. So, nung ako po'y naging kongresista, naging priority program po namin sa aming opisina ang libreng scholarship para sa mga kabataan. So, noong panahon na yon, hindi pa kasi Pangulo si President Duterte, dahil nasa ilalim ng kanyang panunungkulan nagkaroon ng free higher and technical education. So, pero before that, kanya-kanyang kayod kung paano mamahagi at magbigay ng scholarship. So natutunan ko yung value of scholarship doon sa Philippine Science. Dahil na-expose nga ako doon sa Diliman during that time, nung kapanahunan namin wala pa masyado, although meron na, wala pa masyado mga regional campuses. So most of the Philippine Science scholars ay mula sa iba't ibang region. So na-expose ako sa mga kaibigan, mga kaklase, mga kabatch ko at mga ibang nasa ibang batch na galing sa iba't ibang regions. Mula CAR hanggang Mindanao. So nakita ko talaga na in every region pala, napaka-importante para sa isang pamilya ang maging scholar ang anak. Kaya nung ako ay naging kongresista, yun yung concentration namin ng aming programa. Sa amin na yata yung pinakamalawak na scholarship grants na ibigay, no? At hindi lamang sa college kundi sa technical skills development din na scholarships. Pinamahagi po namin para mas maraming kabataan ang maiyahon mula sa kahirapan dahil nga sa edukasyon. So nung naging presidente si Pangulong Duterte na ipasa yung free higher education law, ako yung chairman ng budget. So sa akin din napunta yung responsibilidad ng paghanap ng pera nung first year of implementation noon. At dahil naniniwala nga ako sa libreng edukasyon at scholarships para sa lahat, ay nagsumikap po tayo na magharap ng pondo para dyan. At yan po yung ibinuhos natin sa ating pagpupuyat at ang pagod at hirap na mahanapan ng solusyon. At nahanapan naman po natin ng solusyon. So sa ating pagiging cabinet secretary naman po, yung kung ano may nasabi ko na kanina na ma-apply natin in terms of yung lahat ng natutunan natin, ito na nga rin po yung ina-apply natin sa pagka-cabinet secretary natin.
Ang tanong nito ay mula kay Antonio Salceda, the Philippine Post News Online, at Nes Aguilar, the Philippines Event News TV. Kay Dr. Vea po itong tanong nito. What are the privileges and responsibilities of a PiSAY scholar in your time? At ano po ang nag-advantage nito para sa pamilya at trabaho po ninyo?
Isang scholar noon sa Philippine Science High School, 1964, ay nagkaroon ng stipend na 150 pesos per month. At that time, that was big money. Siguro in today's terms, baka 15,000, I'm not sure, per month. No? Siyempre, tuwan-tuwa yung aking mga magulang. At ako rin na hindi na dependent sa kanila. In fact, marami pang sobra doon sa stipend na binibigay. Pati na yung mga galing sa probinsya, nasa dormitoryo, meron din ganong pribilehiyo na nabibigyan ng stipend. Kaya talagang scholar in that sense of the word na suportado. Yung mga libro namin, pahiram nga, pero lahat ay primera klase. Maging biology, chemistry, maging mathematics, ay napakagaling ng mga libro namin noong panahon na yon. Hindi naman dahil sa colonial mentality, pero napili rin, karamihan ay galing sa abroad, no, yung mga libro namin. Dahil siguro wala pa rin mga sinulat ng mga Filipino instructors at that time. Yun nga lang, yung building namin, medyo hindi moderno. Nandun kami sa Philippine Government Employees Association building sa Elliptical Road. Pag umuulan, merong leak. At yung mga preso noon ang gumagawa ng extension ng building namin. Kaya kasabay namin umuwi, mga naka-orange na jumpsuit. Ito yung gumagawa ng building. Pero wala kaming reklamo. Dahil yung quality naman ng instruction talagang top-notch, no? Pinakamagagaling na guro yung mga nagtuturo sa amin. Marami sa kanila nagtuturo rin sa UP, no?
UP.
So yun ang pribilehiyo noon, isa pa lang campus kami noon. Ang responsibilidad naman talagang mag-aral ka. Dahil pag hindi ka nag-aral ng mabuti, walang palusot yan kung hindi mo na, hindi ka nag-aral at hindi ka pumasa, sorry na lang talaga. So may mga nangyari rin na gano'n, na mga scholar na wala sa aming grupo, no? So malaki yung responsibilidad. Ang parating sabi sa amin, you are the cream of the crop. Cream of the crop. So natutunan namin yung expression na yon. Ang ibig sabihin nun, you have a large or a big responsibility to your benefactors, which are the Filipino people. Dahil kayo nga ay mga scholar. Somehow, nakuha naman yon na-ingrain sa amin yung pag-iisip na yan. Na marami rin sa amin ay dito naglingkod sa Pilipinas, no? Na papabutihin ang buhay ng ating mga kapwa Pilipino. So yun ang responsibilidad na kabahagi noon. Mag-aral ka mabuti dahil aasahan ka sa mga darating na panahon na makakatulong ka dapat sa bayan.
Ako, napakalaking tulong talaga kasi hirap ang family namin. Nung namatay ang tatay ko, talagang lahat kami nilipat sa public school. And it's not an exaggeration na mahirap kami. In other words, malaking tulong sa akin yung stipend na yun. In fact, nakakapagbigay pa nga ako sa mga kapatid ko at saka sa family ko because of my stipend. So, nakaka-share pa ako. Pangalawa, it gave me a sense of fiscal discipline. Pag hawak mo ng pera, kailangan hawakan mo ng maigi yan and you know how to budget it. Or else, hindi matatapos yung buwan. Ubos na yung pera mo. So maaga pa, no? At the age of 12 years old, natitrain ka nang maging independent. No? You're also trained grit, no? Natututo ka rin maging matibay sa mga problema. So, yun ang malaking bagay sa akin, yung benefit ng Philippine Science High School. That money is way more than what I have before, no? Na nakakatulong pa yun sa pamilya namin, at the same time nakapag-aral ka pa ng maayos. Maybe that's also the reason, kagaya na sabi ni Dr. Bea at saka ni Cabsec Nograles, maybe that's also the reason why we value education so much. Kasi yun nga, pag hindi mo na-maintain ang academic standards ng Philippine Science, matatanggal ka. And I have definitely going back to the province is no longer an option for me at that time. kaya talagang nagsusumikap ako na ma-fulfill ko rin yung obligation ko as a scholar.
Salamat po ng marami, Engineer. Huling tanong na po ito kay Alma Ochotarena, Papi, News Syndicate, Central Luzon Balita. As for DOST's ruling, our scholar graduates need to serve 2 years in service. Is it in any government agency or must it be with DOST only?
Ay ano lang yan, basta naglingkod ka sa Pilipinas kahit saan.
Maraming salamat, Secretary. At maraming salamat din po sa ating mga naging panungin ngayong araw na ito. Dr. Reynaldo Bigaya, President and CEO, Mapua University. Dr. Rowena Cristina L. Guevara, Undersecretary for Research and Development, Department of Science and Technology. Honorable Carlo Alexi Binograles, Cabinet Secretary, Office of the Cabinet Secretariat, at Engineer Ramon I. Castillo, President and CEO, Innovatronics Incorporated. Mga kaibigan, abangan nyo rin po ang Bantay Bulkan tuwing Martes, Expert Online tuwing Merkules alas 5 na hapon kasama si Jen Miranda sa DOST TV Facebook page at YouTube channel. Mas marami pang balita mula sa mundo ng siyensya at teknolohiya ang ating pag-usapan. Kaya tutok lamang kayo tuwing Biyernes alas 4 ng hapon dito sa DOST TV Facebook page. Ako po si Oren Miranda. Ito mga balita may kinalaman sa siyensya at teknolohiya para sa bawat Pilipino, straight from the SNT Authority ng bansa. Ito ang DOST Report.